Yo, what's up, everybody? What's up, Dope? Is Dope first again? Dope was first again. What's up, L2Y? What's up, Aka, Dark Eye, Mr. Star, Justin, Ryu Sharingan is sick? What? How's everybody doing today? So, Mr. Star. What's up, Lilac? Pretty much today, just going to talk about the chapter. And also talk about the Asta versus Gojo video that I posted a few days ago. That guy, Kev, you're doing well? Good. Donuts, what's up? What's up, Brian Garcia? Oh, we got a member in here. Pretty Man Eye. Yeah. Well, before I get into it, what do you guys think about the chapter? I thought it was good. A little short, but... we've gotten, what, a few back-to-back short Black Clover chapters? What? It's whatever. You loved it? I don't know if I love it or if I dislike it a fair amount. If this is the actual end of the Line of the Arc, or not Line of the Arc, Line of the Sun arc, which there actually was confirmation that the Line of the Sun, this is its own arc. So this is not the actual final arc of Black Clover. It's a final saga. I'll see if I can find the exact wording. I probably won't be able to show it on screen because I only saved it on my phone. But there is like these spin-off little gag mangas. And they call it the Land of the Sun arc that we're in right now. So it does confirm that this is the Land of the Sun arc, which means that Black Clover's final part or whatever, it's a saga. Or not an arc. Hey, you want to sleep? Alright, well, thanks for coming in. Final message. Appreciate that. What's up, Sleeping Danger? Thought this arc was a bit short. Well, it's not completely over yet. You see a lot of people controversial on the Gojo versus Asta. Yeah, a lot of people. Though, I'll be honest. Most of the people who are taking issue with my outcome have no idea what they're talking about. There was one person who actually put a good response, but I haven't had the time to respond to it yet. But it doesn't change either way. But I think it was a tweet by someone called Broodmeister. What do you mean? Just about how short it was, but okay. Bro, stalling with those double spreads. Double spreads were good, though. Double spreads are hard work, too. My girlfriend made me some banana bread. So good. Why is it so on the nose with the Sharingan? It's not, though. They're actually completely different symbols from what I've seen. Let me look it up. Yeah, I mean they're actually different symbols. And I will be making a video on the whole Naruto and Black Clover stuff of everybody thinks it's a ripoff, but putting symbols on your eyes and making your eyes powerful, Naruto did not invent that shit. Like, for the video I'll be making, I actually was looking back into more Norse mythology stuff. And we know that one of Black Clover's biggest inspiration is Norse mythology. Tabata even mentioned this in the data book. And in Norse mythology, there's a character who has symbols in his eye, and he has powers based on that, where you can see serpents and stuff like that. Like, having symbols on your eye and having eye powers it way predates Naruto. It's so silly. One thing with Gojo versus Asta, as I disagree with, is that Hollow Purple should be able to kill Asta since it's durability negation. But you have to also think about that sleeping nature is Hollow Purple is a form of existence erasure, and so is Long Arch's spatial magic. And Asta can slice through that spatial magic with anti-magic. And now he has way stronger anti-magic protecting him, which means it's very likely it just wouldn't even do anything if it touched him. Asta being a legend, splitting the sky for sure. But yeah, I'll be doing another video of why Black Clover is not a Naruto clone or whatever. It's just a super silly thing, like... It's so dumb. Yeah, but I guess for like Hunter x Hunter, people, except for Hunter x Hunter, people will say that Naruto started it, but... Oh, dang. Mr. Star, that sucks. You can't watch it. So Asta should have durability neg resistance. He should, LTY. That's what I argue, Justin, is that curse energy is similar to negative mana. Similar enough where it should work. I mean, I don't think... But, like, did you not... You understand what I'm saying, Sleeping Danger? Is that Asta put anti-magic in his sword to cut existence erasure. Now, stronger versions of anti-magic are protecting him. Which means that just, like, normal existence erasure should not affect Asta. It would need to be provably above Longer's existence erasure, which I don't think that can be quantified. Naruto didn't start... No, it didn't. Like, eye powers are filled in mythology that have been around for thousands of years. Like, it's just such a silly thing that people think that because something is similar that it's automatically copying something. Like I said, super silly. I'm really looking forward to actually making that video. Naruto predates everything. Kishimoto is God, trust me. Exactly. I can see spin. I mean, you don't... I'm just, like, saying that's how I see it. Like, it's... You know, power scaling is pretty interpretive, but... Yeah. I'll see why. That's kind of was the basis of the video, that... Inverse equalization, Asta just no diffs, because that means just it guarantees that his swords just go right through infinity. But I also don't even think you need to do that. I think that you like negative mana and curse energy is more than similar enough to where it would work even if you did not equalize the verses. Oh yeah, we also, guys, remember to never forget that Kishimoto invented crying, because goddamn, that was silliness on Twitter last week. But, anyways, like I said, I'm working on putting together that, you know, another video akin to the Ballad of a Naruto clone. But I'll be making a whole video on it, why it's not a clone. And again, it'll have the receipts. It'll have the receipts of, you know, basically Tabata just stated that one of his biggest influences on Black Clover is Norse mythology, and that's proven by all the things from Norse mythology within the series. And then if characters in Norse mythology have eye symbol powers, then there's no reason to assume that he's just ripping it from Naruto. Do I think we'll get a Black Clover Shippuden or White Clover? I think we'll get some sort of sequel or a spin-off sequel, yeah. But yeah, let's get into like the summary and then review of the chapter. All right. So, if you don't remember the last chapter, it basically was just Asta cut off one of the dragon's heads, but it just regenerated. So basically, Ryu says that he needs to use his Tengensu, and they need to slash all 5 heads off at once, which I think I said that in the last week's stream. Does anybody remember me saying that? I'm pretty sure I said that that's how they would need to defeat the dragon, would be to cut off all 5 heads at once, but could just be overthinking it. But basically, Ryu opens his eye, he uses Tengensu, and it shoots out these symbols. I can't believe I already forgot what they were called. I had a late night last night, so I can't remember. But I'm sure you guys can mention it down below. But these were the talk of the town the last few days because of the crazy nonsense of the, Black Clover being a Naruto clone again this week or whatever. What he uses is he can see everybody's path, and he can use this power to predict the path to find the best future. And so Ryu, Asta, and the Ryuzen, they all work together. And it's also revealed that this guy, he has sound Yojutsu. And, Fighter's Battle Song, interesting. So remember this guy, when he plays his music, he basically heals people, but he also makes it so that they take less damage as well. So that is why the Ryuzen are able to get back up. And it even says, stir up their fighting spirit, give them new energy. It's exactly what it's been stated that he does. And they get up and they all start getting up and going to work. And so Yosuga takes ahead. These characters take ahead. And this guy actually gets back into his mud form. So that shows that he is, fairly recovered. And so she should be as well. And, it shows that she looks like she's in her form, I think. It's hard to see because of this screen. But, yeah, she starts just hitting the dragon's head up. And then the issue with Jozo is he's actually too wounded, as stated by Ryu, and he's even too slow. But luckily, Ichika comes in, takes his head, and she does it. She knocks this dragon's head up, leaving enough time for Asta to end the chapter with not only cutting off all 5 of the dragon heads and defeating the 5-headed dragon, but also, this is stated in the editor notes. It's for some reason, Viz removes all the editor notes, but it did say that he splits the sky. He split the heavens. So not only did Asta defeat the dragon of legend, that is the terror of the Line of the Sun of Hino country, but he also split the sky too, which means he's basically also paralleled one of the Line of the Sun's greatest heroes. So that's how the chapter ends. It really was short. There was not a lot to go off of. It does seem like Tengensu is eroding right here. I wonder if he's just turning off like the activation of the spell, or if something worse is happening because he used it. Like, we'll have to wait and see till next chapter. But definitely was an interesting chapter. I wish maybe there was a bit more to the fight instead of just making it pretty easy just by doing that. They're called Makatama. Yeah, okay. Thanks. Appreciate that. But it's more like a Hydra. Yeah, it is more like a Hydra. You're right, Epsilon. Like Odin's clairvoyance, yeah. But, yeah. So, basically, what I'm really hoping for is that we get a bit more of a focus that, Asta was the hero. He split the sky. He is mirroring or paralleling one of the great heroes of the past, the Line of the Sun, because, as I mentioned before, one of my biggest complaints of the Spade Saga is that Asta repeated Lumiere's deed, his feat. He defeated a giant ancient demon that was going to destroy the Clover Kingdom. Asta repeated that, but we didn't really get to see anybody like much of a reaction to it, or much praise, or even we get some people praising him, but some people be like, well, he's using a devil, though. We get a little bit of that, but for how crazy of a feat that was for Asta, we didn't get anything out of it. And so I'm really hoping that we do get something from this, that the Land of the Sun will recognize him, maybe Ichika or the Ryuzen or Ryu himself. So I really hope that Tabata corrects that past mistake and he gets recognition from doing this, because this is something you get recognition for. Why did Black Clover copy the Sharingan? I didn't. We got the Cloud Shout was hype, but that's not nearly enough for what the feat that Asta produced. We have to think of this, guys. In the anime, for the longest time, the opening was just them recapping what Lumiere did to defeat the Ancient Demon. A lot of the Clover Kingdom society is based off of what Lumiere did. He's the first Wizard King because of what he did. And Asta repeats it. Like, he literally kills an Ancient Demon. And he does it he actually performs even better than Lumiere did against a stronger Ancient Demon. And he doesn't really get much for it. So. And like I said, it didn't even have to be praise, per se. It could have been... They could have made that a plot point where he should be getting praise, but he's not because of how shitty the Clover Kingdom society is. But we get nothing. We get pretty much nothing. Black Clover copied that girl who sat next to me and drew eyes in the 5th grade. Bro, I know, right? It's just silliness. He shouldn't have copied the dragon design too. He didn't make it himself. But yeah. So, here's my thing with this chapter, though. Or I guess with this arc. If this is the end, like, it was a decent arc. But if this is really the end of the arc, and there's no greater threat, I'm going to have to knock it down, like, a whole number. Because we see the Paladins, right? They were not much of a threat. Like, what the hell did they do? They didn't do shit. All the Paladins did was they waited for the Ryuzen to be tired and off guard from fighting the dragon to attack. And the dragon itself, pretty easily defeated. Like, it wasn't really that strong relatively to this power levels of the arc. Like, each of the Ryuzen could cut off its head. And then, okay, well, now that all they have to do is just punch all their heads up in the air and then cut their heads off. And then they win. So that's why I'm really hoping that there still is a greater threat. That maybe my theory of Ryu being connected to Lucifuge does come true, or Lucifuge is connected to something else. Because this is a little anticlimactic for me. If this is the end, it's a little anticlimactic for me. There just wasn't very much struggle. But, I mean, like I said, this is still a really good arc. But if this is truly the end, I'll have to really think about what I really think about it. So. Yeah, extra user, that's a good point. Leroy, we'll see. I still don't really see that, but so far it's a 6 out of 10. Whoa. That's pretty low. I would give it higher than a 6 out of 10. Like, I thought that the Line of the Sun arc was like a 9 out of 10. But I'm about to probably, if this is the end, I might drop it to an 8. Because I thought that there was going to be some stuff in here. Like, you know, people say that I might be looking too deep into it, but that's like kind of the point of Black Clover. You look deep into stuff. That's how, you know, I predicted that the whole Lucius and Julius connection. So. They definitely, yeah, they don't need to rush, you're right. Once Lucius pulls up, maybe 7 out of 10. Could also get Ryu's eye. Based on the conditions, like, this is a really hot topic in Black Clover right now, the fandom. But based on the conditions of what we know about the eye, no, he should not be able to get it. Like, the chapter that introduces the Tengensu eye, like, and explains it, just completely shows that Asta cannot wield it. I'll show you why. So, it is stated that to use Tengensu, it says, you two are the only ones with enough Yoryoku to acquire the eye. At the price of gaining Tengensu, you will lose all of your Yoryoku. So there should be no way that Asta can use it, because he has no Yoryoku to give up. The chapter is a 7 out of 10, but the arc is an 8 out of 10, yeah. Eyes come in pairs with the other one. That's an interesting point. Good point, Marquise. Well, Black Clover can be as long as One Piece, but Tabata is tired. I don't know if that's actually the case. It could be. Like, you're right. It could be as long as One Piece, but I don't know if it's because Tabata is tired. I can't see Ryu being evil. Yeah, I don't think he's evil, per se. I think he could be controlled. Or, like, he is in a contract with Lucifugus, but he's still good, but he will have to do something evil because of the contract. If the Paladins who were already dead stay alive after the transformation is undone, I'm going to be disappointed. Well, the Paladins aren't dead, though. The Paladins were not even really damaged by Asta. Asta attacked their magic power directly and shut it off. So they didn't die. But yeah, it's a good chapter. It's short, but if this is truly the end of the arc, my thoughts are that this is, it's a good arc, but it did not live up to its expectations that it built up from the beginning. Because we also do have to remember, too, it hyped up the dragon before the concept of the holy, like the sacred dragon was a thing. Like, because remember, Yorlu, they turned that dragon into a sacred dragon and made it even stronger. And that's how easily it was defeated. That's true, Extras. That's a good point. Hey, Broku, Gojo vs. Austin video went hard, by the way. Nice one. Thanks, appreciate that. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a sec, because I have some stuff I do want to talk about it. Like, because there's stuff that I didn't mention in the video for either reasons of the video is just going to be too long, or I just found too many counters that also had over Gojo that people would see it as me downplaying Gojo and not being fair. But yeah, so that's some things we'll talk about in a bit. Do you like the fans concept art for future Noah Mills and Asta? I've seen some. I do like them. Oh, okay. I get what you mean, Donuts. I appreciate for clarifying. Now I have to go back to what you originally said. Oh, if they stay alive. Okay, yeah, I get what you mean now. I might be disappointed as well, depending on how it explains Lucius's power. Do I still plan on making... Yeah, I am going to be making a house drawing of Sukuna. Tabata only gave glimpses of the samurai powers for a reason. He will display them amped in Paladin form versus Black Clover. Tabata needed new characters as Paladins can only tease their... I still disagree with that. Good point, you win. I think that Asta's not done progressing from here, for one. Asta, also Tabata showing the samurais being defeated was a writing tactic to prep them for a power-up. I still disagree. Like, it's possible, I don't think that's going to be the case. But I really am just hoping, and I do think that, we will get something else. I think that Lucifugus will reveal himself. Sorry guys, I was responding to somebody commented and they disagreed with one of my scaling takes. I just had to respond to them real quick. Yeah, Goku is stronger than Asta. That was one of the weirdest things of this video. You've been saying Lucifugus a lot. Do you mean... No, I don't mean Osteroth. I mean Lucifugus. But anyways, a lot of people comment on my video like, "Oh, Broku, do you think Asta beats a Goku now because you're having him fight Gojo?" I'm like, no. And it's the funniest part is in the video itself. I brought up how it was dumb to say that Asta could beat Moro, a character from Dragon Ball Super, just because Moro used magic. It's so funny. Paladin Rio will be a problem. Could be. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on the chapter. I will do a poll, as I always do. What did you think of chapter 352? Excuse me. Great. Good. Okay. Bad. That's a good point, Jordan. About all the different things that he's fought. If you put anyone against a Dragon Ball character, they will most likely... That is true, but there still are a lot of characters that are stronger than Dragon Ball characters. How would Lucifer versus Gojo go? That depends. We'll talk about that soon, because like there's other stuff I can bring up about Lucifer or Gojo scaling, because I do think that some of his stuff is overrated, but I will need to find that chapter actually, because it's going to be controversial unless if I can at least show the chapter to show the basis of it. But yeah, what did you guys think about the Gojo video? So 60. Okay, so most people thought it was good, not great, which is I see that. Talk more about Gojo. You want to hear? I will. Hey, Broku, would you say that Black Clover is the strongest new gen anime series? I don't even think Black Clover can be considered new gen anymore. It's 8 years old. And it really depends on what all of these different series we're comparing it to. Because technically Fire Force is stronger than Black Clover, from what I've seen. Somebody just brought up Fire Force. I have read most of Fire Force. I think I didn't read the last 20 chapters or whatever. I love the series though, but I guess that's a good point, Grass Shown. That Kenjaku does have... Well, I thought he had anti-gravity powers. Not, Kenjaku had... Does he have gravity? I can't remember. I can't find the chapter that I was going to be talking about in reference to Gojo. Oh, found it. But anyways, I found it, but we'll get into it eventually. I still don't understand Zetano's a trash power up, to be honest. What don't we understand about it? Oh, that's a good point, Gracian. Good point. That he has reverse curse technique. I liked it. It showed a lot. Showed and taught a lot about Gojo and his powers and Asta collapse. Yeah. Thanks, man. A paladin of light magic. That'd be cool, actually. Extra user. That would probably be Morgan. That'd be wild to see Morgan as a paladin, I think. That'd be really cool to see Nox's reaction to that. Yeah, I don't think Black Clover can beat Fire Force either, Body. Maybe one day, though. I actually think that Lucius is going to do some crazy, crazy shit. Zen is dope. I like Zen. Black Clover versus... Are you talking about power-wise? Maybe you can do a video for us explaining Zen. Okay, well, what's confusing about it? Like, tell me what you don't understand about it, because I think literally the only confusing thing about it is that instead of magic power, they say Yoyoku, and instead of saying magic, they say Yojutsu. Zen is dope for power scaling junkies. That's about it. I don't agree with that. Because for example, it's going to be most important with Asta. And Asta really, like, he uses it sure for a power thing, but it basically just gave him a way to beat people. Like, oh, why is... So if I do this, the poll blocks the chat out. I need to end the poll. Sorry about that. 64 votes, 59% good, great, okay, bad. So almost 20% people thought it was okay or bad. So yeah, this definitely was a low-rated chapter in general, which I kind of agree with. Is Chainsaw Man really weaker than JJK, Gratian? Leroy, you just had to think of Zetten like a temporary, like an explosive instant Kaioken. Tabata literally copied Black Flash with Zetten. No, he did not. Zetten is completely different from Black Flash. Like, they're not even close to being close. Is that a technique or an ability? That's a technique. Lucita as a paladin? That'd be wild donuts. Especially because if she actually was strong on top of being able to steal people's magic in life, she could be broken. Like, she could be actually very, very powerful. Yeah, Zen is way more like Kaioken than Black Flash, exactly, Furata. You're joking, by the way. Well, Tabata takes inspiration from, like, Bleach and stuff, and Dragon Ball. How come they don't implement any other powerful visual eye techniques in JJK other than Gojo's eyes? I mean, they probably will. Do I think Asta will eat Lucius' heart? I don't think so. Alright, well, let's talk about the Gojo, Asta versus Gojo video. So, I know this won't be completely accurate because it will be a slightly different audience, but actually, I want to pull up my community tab because I did do a poll, and I want to see if it changed at all after watching the video. So, 69% was Asta wins, so let's see if that changes in the poll. Start a poll. Who wins? Asta or Gojo? I want to see if it got even higher after the video. Damn, so Asta's kind of killing it. Damn, Asta, after 30 votes, is at 88%. That's crazy. Zen is trash, bro. Why do you always say negative stuff about Black Clover, Leroy? Ewan, I classify Lucius as a paladin. I mean, he still technically is a devil host as long as he still has Osteroth, but... Alright, I'm going to end the poll just because it's blocking off the chat on screen for the when I post this as a VOD later, so... With just under 50 votes, Asta clapped 86%, so... But yeah, does anybody have any, like, disagreements with what I was talking about for the Gojo video? That is probably inspired by Gensuke Tensho. It could be, honestly. That is an actual inspiration for the Bada. I see what you're playing, Gracian. But here, one thing that I will bring up, and just to see what you guys think, but I think that I didn't mention this in the video, but I think this is actually a very damning point that shows how limitless, or I guess the actual infinity, like touching Gojo, is probably a lot easier than you think. Just like how, it's just a massive no limits fallacy. So this is chapter 76 of JJK. It's a little bit of a flashback, but it's Gojo testing out his infinity barrier. They're throwing stuff at him, and as you can see, his barrier works. And he says, "What I'd been doing manually until now, I switched to automatic. And it's not just the intensity of the cursed energy, but its mass, shape, and speed. I can use it to all distinguish the danger of the object. It would be nice to eventually distinguish poisonous object as well, but that'll take time. Right now, I can almost always have the Limitless activated at all times, using minimum resources." So, basically what this means is that Gojo, in the past, he'd always been manually detecting what is a threat, like based off cursed energy. And now he does it automatically. Now, the issue with automatic is people assume it's instant. Automatic does not mean instant. It just means it's automated. It means he's not doing it himself. So based off of that, you would have to then assume, like, because there's no statement of it working instantly, it's automatically, then that would mean that there is some sort of a speed equation for how Infinity tracks what is a threat and what is not a threat to Gojo. And since we only know that Gojo is like massively hypersonic plus, and of course he'd be faster than that, but that's all we can really use. And basically it should be like the Infinity should scale to him because it's his ability. And based off that, if something is moving so fast that the Infinity can't even detect if it is actually a threat, it should, in theory, just bypass the Infinity. Like, all it says is automated. It doesn't say it does it instantly. And because Gojo has a speed, and if something, we say Gojo is Master Hypersonic Plus, Asta's, let's just say, 1,000 times faster than light in his base. Even if Asta is just in his base, he might just bypass the Infinity, because he would be moving so fast it would not even be able to detect if he's a threat or not. Where do I think Asta scales to in the Dragon Ball Z show? Maybe like early Saiyan Saga characters. Is Super Saiyan 4 stronger than Super Saiyan God? That's a really hard question. That's really changed a lot over the years. Jordan, I might put Zetten as the top of that list. Because Zetten can just be spammed over and over again, so it's almost like you always have it on. But yeah, that's kind of one thing I left out of the video. But yeah, based off of that, if the Infinity automatically determines what is, whereas Gojo used to do it manually, that would mean that there is a speed to it. Therefore, if you are considerably faster than Gojo, it is a fairly high possibility that just being fast enough, like not even like infinite speed, but like just being way faster than Gojo would bypass the Infinity. Yeah, we don't have a speed gap. It's obviously faster than Gojo's speed, but we can't calculate it. So you could still just feasibly say something considerably faster than Gojo could probably. Can Zen really be spammed? Yeah, we've seen it. I believe it was even in this chapter. I'll see if I can bring it up. Maybe it was last chapter. Oh yeah, see? Asta did it last chapter. Zetten. 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 So yeah, he can spam it. At the very least, Asta can spam it. No limits fallacy on Asta? What do you mean by a no limits fallacy? Like, what is the no limits fallacy for Asta? Honestly, I don't really know much about don't know much about JoJo's Gracian, so I don't really know how to answer that. But yeah, it's more like if something is considerably faster than Gojo, it's fairly possible that it would just bypass the Infinity, because then it wouldn't be able to detect and even measure if it's a threat based on its automation. Imagine if also learned to use Zetten longer than I think he will. He will level up his Zetten. I think that definitely will happen. Long Larson, I wonder what's happening back in the Clover Kingdom. I bet they're prepping for war, honestly. That'd be the smartest thing for them to do. Bringing out the stockpile of magic items, all of that. Another thing I wanted to talk about is basically people arguing that this is back to Asta versus Gojo. Like, they think that people are arguing that immeasurable void is like an automatic thing. Like that Gojo could just activate it before Asta could reach him. Which, no. It would have to scale to Gojo, at least in some way, for his activation time. Which, as stated in the video, Asta is many, many, many thousands of times faster than Gojo. By the time Gojo gets Gojo gets halfway through saying immeasurable or domain expansion, Asta's already there and just taps him. And the speed gap's just too big that the domain's not doing anything. And we also have to know that the domain expansion, it feeds information at 0.2 seconds. It gives 6 months of information. So based off of that, because of how much faster Asta is than Gojo, he'd be moving so fast he would not get nearly that much amount of information. And I also don't even think it would work anyways, just because of, Devil Union. But also, the funniest thing is people in the comments are trying to argue that Toji is stronger than Asta. And it was so funny. Donuts. I don't know why you're saying that anti-magic is cursed energy. That's not how verse equalization works. So that's what a lot of people got confused about. Is they're like, they were saying I was being super biased because I said that, you know, you could use verse equalization, but verse equalization wouldn't even mean that anti-magic equals cursed energy. It would mean that mana and magic equals cursed energy. Anti-magic would still not be cursed energy on an inverse equalization. Yeah, I agree with that, Heroic. Episode 1 Asta literally is way above Toji. It's not even close. Yuji versus Denji. That's probably going to be a video in the future. That's a very interesting topic, honest, in my opinion. Domains are confirmed instantaneous. They're not really. We see them actually take time to activate. We have to also remember that when it comes to instantaneous movement, there needs to be a decent burden that they literally mean instantly. Because that is just like a pretty big word for when it comes to hyperbolic statements. But like we actually see the domains moving to form. We have seen that. Episode 1 Asta, let's not get too crazy, Broku. I mean, it's not. Asta versus Ragna? That could be interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna make a video on it, but yeah, episode 1 Asta is stronger than Toji. Because, so, there's the light novel of Black Clover. So, actually, I'll just go through multiple reasons why Asta is stronger than Toji. So, we know that Asta, he scales, he's greater than 1% the power of a captain. Because it stated that a Magic Knight captain is worth 100 knights. And Rebchi is an above average knight, and Asta could body him. And if you just go based off of that, 1% of how strong William has been calculated to be at the beginning of the series, it makes Asta like I think it's city level, and that's above anything that Toji's done from what I remember. But that's also like the lowest level. Like, I'll need to find my document actually. I don't know. I can't even find my document. But there's also the fact that Asta in the light novel, he trains with Fonzel, and it's actually stated that Asta has not gotten stronger than since when he by the time he was training with Fonzel, because he still struggled wielding the sword. And Fonzel is somebody, he's essentially one step down from a vice captain. He's a commander. Basically, Lotus's rank is the equivalent of a vice captain. So basically, Fonzel is the equivalent of like a senior Magic Knight in the Diamond Kingdom, and Asta scales to Fonzel. And we know that with all that different levels of scaling, Asta would be pretty strong. Yeah. I am worth 1,000 men. That doesn't mean that literally I'm one man with a 1,000 times multiplier. That's the thing, though, is that's actually supporting even further how strong Asta is. Because I'm assuming that William is, or any of the captains are literally worth like 100 Magic Knights. But of course, that is not what it means. But if Asta because for example, right? Basically, that likely means that William or whatever, they could fight 100 Magic Knights and beat them. But that doesn't mean that they're literally 100 times stronger than a singular Magic Knight. But that actually makes it so that Asta's even closer to them, which is the point of what I'm saying. It literally makes Asta even stronger based on that. It doesn't matter if it's a common phrase used in terms of war. I don't see why that matters. It still means that a Magic Knight captain is worth 100 Magic Knights. And Asta can defeat an established Magic Knight easily. And he scales to essentially senior Magic Knight characters by scaling to Fonzel. Which means he's like pretty high up there. I mean, that's what I'm assuming. Like, it's a lowball, Pimp Demon. It's a lowball assumption to say that I'm lowballing that Reggie is 1% the power of William. And Asta bodied him. That's like me lowballing Asta's power. It'd feasibly be a way higher percentage. But I'm just talking for the sake of lowballs. Yeah, we know that there's over 1,000. I actually think that the minimum amount of Magic Knights is 1,500. Jay. It's in the light novel. I can't remember. I can't remember what it was, but the light novel makes it so that there's at least 1,500 Magic Knights total. Saitama versus Asta. Saitama's probably way stronger, honestly. My thoughts on people saying that Black Clover's a Naruto copy, or at least this specific, like, this thing, is it's silly. It's so silly. I lost the chat. Okay, now the chat's back. Saitama versus Gojo. I'd really... Probably Saitama, honestly. Kishimoto created Japan, right? Asta versus Naruto. See, that'll happen eventually. That'll be another collab with Spooner. What's up, Katabore? We have a... We're doing Chapter 1 Asta versus Chapter 1 Naruto. Then we're going to do Yami versus Kakashi. We have a bunch of different Naruto versus Black Clover video ideas in terms of power scaling and stuff, like versus battles. Asta slaps Naruto? I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Naruto's pretty strong. Yeah, I do think that those orbs do have significance. Extra user. Speed gap's way too big. Wait, Naruto and Asta? Yeah, well, we're gonna do Chapter 1 Asta versus Naruto as like a teaser for current Asta versus current Naruto. Black Clover needs at the end a fight. They're good. Yeah, we're definitely getting Asta versus Yuto at the end of the series. That's just totally gonna happen. There's no way it won't happen. God, I just got another comment from somebody saying I didn't bring up something for Gojo, which is hilarious. because it's actually incorrect. But anyways. When you say Asta's 1,000 times FTL, do you mean sustained movement speed, movements at a burst? Like, he can fight at that speed is what I argue. Watch when Asta versus Yuno happens. People say it's copied Naruto versus... Oh my god. Yeah. They'll say that it copied Naruto versus Sasuke, but it didn't... But Naruto versus Sasuke did not copy Goku versus Vegeta, right? I love Naruto transformations, but I did not like Baryon mode at all. Interesting. I think Baryon mode looks pretty cool, but I don't really know too much about it, to be honest. Imagine if he does all this training but then loses again to Lucius. That's a possibility. I'm actually almost thinking there will be a second fight where Asta does better but still loses, and then the third fight will be the W, but I don't know. I mean, I just don't see Black Clover ending without it being resolved. Goku and Vegeta weren't fighting to be the Saiyan King. They were fighting to be the strongest, though. So it's actually pretty similar, because that's what the Hokage kind of is. And it's not copying, like... Because Heroic Spirit Frightened, I don't know if you've ever been to my streams or watched my videos. The whole Austin Yuno wanting to be the Wizard King is literally not taken from Naruto one bit. It's actually a Norse saga that has way more connections to Black Clover than Naruto. I can't remember what it's called. I'll have to look it up, but I am going to be doing a big theory on it. I've been working on it for a while, but basically in this Norse saga, there's two different characters in this Norse saga, and they both want to be kings, and they both want to be the king of all of Norway, no, all of Scandinavia, and also they are brothers, but they're not blood brothers. Kind of like Asta and Yuno. In this Norse saga, there are two different Valkyries, one guiding each of them. One of the Valkyries, their name is Gondul, which means wand wielder, and that Valkyrie has the wings the shape of a swan, which Noelle has a Valkyrie form. Her wings are in the shape of a swan, and she is one of the only characters in Black Clover to wield a wand. And also, and the other brother, he has a Valkyrie. I can't remember her name, but her name meant healing. And Mimosa has a lot of Valkyrie symbolism because of her wings, and she's a healer. Not only that, but in this Norse saga, there is a sword there's an evil king who wields a sword called Daneslif. Daneslif is in Black Clover, and Yuno fights the character, his name's Zenon, who uses a sword called Daneslif, which does exactly what it does in the Norse sagas. So, yeah. It's definitely the whole them competing to become kings, way more likely to be taken from Norse mythology rather than Naruto. Like, because not only does Zenon wield Daneslif, but in Norse mythology, Daneslif is made by Dane, and Dane, he has a constellation which is an antler, or it's an elk. And Zenon, who's using Daneslif in Black Clover, he has antlers. He has antler horns. So it's definitely way more likely that Tabata has taken the whole king thing from Norse mythology. Oh, and there's another thing that really makes you think that Tabata is taking this from Norse mythology and not Naruto. Is the swords involved in this saga, they have their own statues. Wow. Why can I just not find like a good image of these swords? Jesus Christ. I guess I'll just use this. So, these are the swords that are mentioned in that saga. And I think just by looking at these swords, and considering Asta's been using 3 swords for the majority of the series, the way these look, I think you can kind of see that, yeah, these are very likely inspired from Norse mythology, and that's that saga specifically. And it all kind of adds up when it's literally stated in the guidebook that Tabata took stuff from Norse mythology, but Tabata in the hot seat right now. Watch Naruto fans say that Norse mythology copied Naruto. Oh my god. Yeah. I mean, Tabata he takes inspiration from Bleach, from Berserk, from Dragon Ball, from Harry Potter, from Norse mythology, from Eastern mythologies. Cosmic Garo probably wins, Evan. Those are real life swords that were made based off of that saga. Tabata or Broku about to predict the next 80 chapters after reading Norse mythology. I mean, we'll see about that. Yeah, the Valkyries stand by the boys they want to be king, Justin, yeah. Which is very similar to Yuno being with Mimosa, they're the same squad, and then Asta being with Noel, they're in the same squad. Of course, nothing really fits 1-to-1, but there's way too many similarities for it to not be a thing. I mean, Tabata has already admitted to using Norse mythology as a reference, too. He's definitely already changed a lot. But that's like my main argument when people try to bring up Naruto, is like the whole Hokage, Wizard King thing. Have you seen... No, I don't watch Triggered Senpai. Which of the brothers won so we can know the winner of Asta versus Yuno? Well, it's actually a very dark and twisted ending, but you guys will see about that in the theory. But yeah, guys, I'm about to unfortunately end this stream. But I will be streaming again in a few days, and excited for you guys to see my next video this week. This week is me predicting the final battle of Black Clover. It's another theory video. Basically how Lucius will be defeated. That's my theory this week. So excited for you guys to see that. And yeah, thanks for coming in, guys. Appreciate the support. Hope you guys like this stream and like this chapter of Black Clover.